it seems like God continues to send us into cities of crisis and calamity. I mean, first it was Nashville right after the shooting that took place there at the Christian school. And then we were in Jackson, Mississippi right after all these drive-bys were happening on the Capitol steps. And now God's sending us into Vermont on the heels of this 100-year historic flood. And I don't think it's a coincidence. I think God ordains these moments for us where he sends us in. And, regardless of Vermont and the government there and their attitude towards the church, they may mock the church, they may shame the church, but in moments of crisis, they turn to the church because the church is the first one to respond. And that's what we're seeing right now. And so, we have the opportunity to host not only the largest gathering in the state, maybe this year, of people of faith worshiping, but we have the opportunity to respond in the midst of a great crisis. And so, we feel like this is a God ordained moment, and together with Let Us Worship and TPUSA Faith and our ministries coming together, and including all the pastors on the ground, including Todd and so many churches, I think this is going to be a moment where the world sees the church unite in crisis and bring hope and healing to a city that's really in need.
That is just incredible. I love to hear that. And I love both of your commitment to the community and to the Lord. It's just so inspiring. And Sean, as you mentioned, it really is no coincidence. I mean, I've followed you. You keep getting sent into these areas of crisis, and it's just astounding. But I don't think the Lord would put you up for the challenge if you couldn't handle it. So I think you're proving time and time again that you can indeed. And it's such a wonderful opportunity to bring the community together and bring people to the Lord. So I just applaud you for that. You mentioned the church in Vermont shaming and mocking, or I'm sorry, not the church, the people in Vermont shaming and mocking the church, rather. Can you tell us more about what you mean by that?
I mean, I think you just see in New England, which I think is interesting because, the whole New England area, I mean, it's historic for the Great Awakenings. You see moves of God that have literally birthed and changed America from that region. But now you see this rise and this anti-church sentiment in those states. And so we always get pushback and protesters, trolls online and people that come after us. And, most of the time we don't get any assistance from the governments in those local governments in those states. However, in moments of crisis, you see, and I think as Todd is pointing out, and as you're pointing out, people that are responding are pastors. People that are turning their churches into aid centers and distribution centers are churches. And the church is always the ones that responds. I think it's interesting. I was thinking about even September 11th, 2001, and after that crisis in New York, church attendance jumped to the highest rate, I think, in American history the Sunday after September 11th. So in moments of crisis, even though they may mock and shame and do all this stuff to the church, they will turn to God in moments of crisis. And that's why we believe this is a divine timing and a setup from heaven.